What's going on, everybody? We live. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat so far. We have my brother Chavis. What's going on? We have uh, Lovely Peace is here. How's it going? Thank you to everybody that's watching the live stream right now and everyone that's watching the replay of this. Please do me a favor, hit the like button. Uh, some of you guys may not want to like it, but if you guys can, like this button. It'll let you to know that this is a video worth sharing. All right, without further ado, I want to talk about this. Another rapper has lost their life. And I'm afraid that this kind of activity is being normalized in Black culture. And it seems like there is zero accountability to be had or to be given. Nobody wants to accept responsibility, and nobody want to be held responsible. Nobody want to hold anybody accountable, and nobody want to be held accountable in situations like this. Another rapper is dead. And is it a situation where the rapper's life got the best of him, or what the rapper was rapping about got the best of him? I have been a lover of hip hop music as far back as I can remember. One of the first albums that made a huge impact on me was Slick Rick's The Art of Storytelling. He changed hip hop for me. Like I fell in love with the genre of music after hearing him rap, because it wasn't the bubblegum rap that had a whole bunch of made up words that rhymed, right? He was actually telling a specific story. And what I started to notice is other rappers after him started to come out and tell stories, right? NWA telling stories, right? And then Wu-Tang came out, and Wu-Tang was like just rapping about everything, right? Then Das Effects, like Das Effect, Onyx, you know. And we see how hip-hop music progressed to be more and more violent, right? We have people like Chub Rock. Chub Rock deserved his flowers. Chub Rock had good music that wasn't about all the nonsense. But at a time where people were promoting negativity in hip-hop, he sort of fizzled away. Listen, another rapper's dead. Another rapper's dead. And who's to blame for this? Now, I know the actions of individuals need to be held there, the actions of individuals, but we cannot cap and say that there weren't outside influences there. If we say, right, that only individuals are responsible in situations like this that keep happening, we're not trying to find a solution that would actually bring change. We're just trying to throw blame elsewhere. I'm a teacher. Before that, I worked at a Head Start with children. Before that, I was a youth pastor for over 10 years. And I'm going to tell you, the single most influential thing in the lives of young people is the music they listen to. Say what you want. Now I'm talking about somebody that's been a professional in family services, in youth development for over 20 years. The single most influential aspect to a young person's life is the music they listen to. This is why if somebody gets a rifle and goes into a school or a movie theater and start letting off massively, injuring and taking away a whole bunch of people and students, one of the things that the media tends to go to is the type of music they listen to. But when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to the Black culture, when it comes to things like this happening in our society, in our culture, in our communities, we don't want to accept the fact that music can play an instrumental part in how people behave in our communities. We want to say, well, it's the parents' fault. Now, mind you, I agree that parents should definitely know what their kids are listening to. But let's be honest. How many of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s was listening to music that our parents did not know that we were listening to, and allowing ourselves to be embedded with imagery or words that gave us imagery in our heads, molding our minds, and even making us desensitized to a lot of things, including sex, drugs, and crime. But we don't want to blame the music, right? We don't want to blame the music. Somebody of a different race goes off and starts deleting children in a school. What kind of music did he listen to? Gun violence in New York City, in Chicago, right? Let's talk. Let's be real. Let's talk real. Let's be as objective as we can be tonight. Gun violence in all these major cities among our community. We don't want to say that it could be influenced by the music they listen to. They got drill rap out now. It's all violence and it's all gangs against gangs. But it's not the music, it's the parents' fault. And here's the thing. The same people, right? The same rappers who are saying it's not my responsibility are getting rich off of the children buying their music. It's the parents' fault. The parents should be monitoring and not buying the music that they're listening to. But you don't care. You don't care because they're buying your music and they're making you rich. And these young minds are listening to your music thinking, oh, for me to be somebody, I have to behave this way. I am frustrated because we don't want to be honest. We don't want to be honest. The young man's life is lost. A rapper. And I pray for his family. I pray for his loved ones. I pray for those who even feel a sense of closeness to him because of his music. I pray. I don't know too much about Takeoff. I don't know too much about Migos. But what I do know a lot about is rappers dying. Before I got saved, I was a huge Notorious B.I.G. fan. I know where I was the day I got the news that he passed away, the night he passed away. I was at my cousin's Sweet 16. I remember where I was when I heard the news that Tupac passed away. I was driving in the car with my boy Taquan, and it came over the radio. We were like in awe. We was stuck. But it's not the music, right? People die all the time. Like, it's not the music. People who usually say that don't have a healthy knowledge of music history or the history of music at all. Really don't. They really don't. They just don't want to blame the very thing that's the most influential portion of our life. Look at culture. Don't tell me that art doesn't shape culture. Art shapes culture. It does. Rap is an art. It shapes our culture. But we do not want to accept that fact. Artists are the only ones that get to skate responsibility for their art. People become influenced by their art. Children, our babies are being raised. And here's a mere fact. Here's a fact. I'm a teacher and I see it. Okay. I see my students up and down the hallway getting sturdy as they're walking from class to class. Where did they get that influence from? The music they listen to. They memorize lyrics before they memorize mathematical algorithms to help them solve a problem. And it's not influential. It's not brainwashing them to believe a certain way. It's not, come on, like we have to be real and honest here. We have to be real and honest here. Yes, individuals must have some sort of responsibility. Have to. I get it. But let's not pretend that music doesn't play an important role in that. Let's not. I remember being young and influenced by the music I listened to. What's that? Why am I forgetting? Jimi Hendrix said that when he plays his music, he's speaking to the soul. I'm paraphrasing there, but he understood that the power. He understood the power of messaging through the music he gave. He understood it. He know it. People who know music understand that. But it's not the music fault. We want to blame it on the parents, right? because the parents definitely want their children out there doing criminal activity. People mimic art. How do we know that? From a young age. How do we know that? Me. I love Batman. Batman is art. He's an action figure. He's art. I wanted to be Batman when I grew up. I wanted to act like Batman. Kids want to be superheroes because they idolize superheroes. And then kids grow up and they start being introduced to music. Music is cool. They start idolizing the people that they're listening to. And because they idolize them, they want to be like them. So they tend to do what they hear their artists doing in the music, or do what they think their artists are saying they're doing in the music. But we don't want to blame artists. We don't want to put any responsibility on the artist, right? I don't know the character of Takeoff. I'm familiar with the group Migos. And I'm only familiar with them because I've heard their names around. I don't know. I can't even tell you one song that they sing. I may be telling my age there, but the reason why I'm speaking about this is because I love the young people. I love the youth. And I see now there are people who are talking about this that don't really work closely with children. I see it. I see the effects. I see the influence that music has on children. I've seen it for over 20 years. And not only that, I felt it when I was their age. So we got to stop pretending that music is not a defining, not defining, but a contributing factor for what's happening, at least in our community. Because we have no alternatives. We have no alternatives. All we have is hip hop and R&B. In hip hop, everybody's killing each other, degrading each other, right? And in R&B, there's no solid relationships. And all that messaging is being embedded in all of us. We're being brainwashed to think that having toxic relationships and killing each other is normal. But it's not the music. The music isn't affecting us. Not at all. Not at all. Single women in clubs, when their single toxic relationship song comes on, they're all singing together. Dudes in the club hear their favorite hood song, right? Hood song. And then all the dudes are rapping to the song and messaging. That's normalizing the downgrade of our community, but we don't want to see it. We don't want to accept it. We don't want to believe it. We don't. See, back then, here's what's the crazy thing, right? Back then, back in the 60s, right? When we had the freedom fighters, they were being killed for promoting positivity. Today, you promote positivity, you're silenced. Nobody wants to listen to you, right? And the powers that be could care less about you. Could care less about you because they know that they were successful in promoting so much negativity and brainwashing a culture that if somebody comes and starts speaking positivity, whether it be through rap or any other means, you're not going to listen. They're confident in that. So they don't have to take out people that are promoting positivity in social media, in society, because they know no one's going to listen to them anyway. And they don't have to take out anybody promoting negativity because they know they're going to take out themselves. We're brainwashed and we don't even realize it. A young white male can go into a movie theater, right, and violently take the lives of people. And one of the first things they want to investigate is the music this person listens to. Why? Because they understand that there's messaging in music. But if 14 people die on Halloween in Chicago, right? If 14 trick-or-treaters die because of gang violence in Chicago, no, it's not the music's fault. The music is not a blaming factor here. Yo, we have become extremely simple-minded people. And I'm sorry that some of you guys will get offended by this, but we need to hear this and we need to come to grips with this. Nothing's ever going to change in our communities until we want to change it ourselves. Nothing. Because in another 3 months, another rapper is going to die. And everybody's going to be listening to their music. Spotify is going to get the money. iTunes is going to get money. And you know who else? Who knows going to be struggling? Our communities. But we don't want to talk about this. No. We want to continue living. This is the actual blue pill. We have taken the blue pill. This is what blue pill is all about. We're living in a matrix. We're living in a matrix. And we don't want to come out of it. We have all taken the blue pill. And then when people like myself or somebody else is trying to give you guys the red pill and tell you guys our communities are dying because of these reasons, you guys don't want to take it. You guys don't want to put the blame where it needs to be and try to make changes. Because here's the thing. We can actually change how the music is given to us and the messages that's given to us, but we don't want to. Because we've been told, we've been brainwashed to believe that toxicity and the messaging of it is just entertainment. It's just art. Get out of here with that. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. We're only 13% of the American population. 13%. And it hasn't grown. Hasn't grown. But nobody wants to talk about this objectively. Nobody wants to just look at the problems. What are the actual problems? And here's the thing. There's been groups, even in the recent past, that have gotten together, right, that talk about things like this. Have panels come together and say, what's the problem in Black communities, right? And the second music comes up, nobody want to put any onus on music. No one want to put onus on art. We only have two major genres of music that we listen to. Hip hop, in America at least. Hip hop and R&B. That's it. One promotes violence and degradation of women and killing each other. And the other one promotes toxic relationships and singleness and no family and just sex. We're living in a matrix. And you've decided to take the blue pill. We all have. When J. Cole's come out, J. Cole is like one of the only ones out there. We also have Kendrick Lamar, right? I don't really listen to their music, to be honest with you, but I understand that their messaging. And sometimes it could be inconsistent, but like J. Cole, I've heard some of his stuff. And J. Cole actually has services for young people. Like he really had, like I took a group of young people from a community center in Stapleton in New York City, Stapleton Projects. We went to the city and we went to this really nice, was it the Microsoft build somewhere, right? And J. Cole had this nonprofit organization teaching young people about success. And it had nothing to do with his music. Nothing to do with his music, right? But how often do we hear of J. Cole? We don't hear about him too much. At least I don't. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't. There was a point, but I don't hear it. Yo, we are dying as a people, and we're not. Well, and when I say that, I'm saying that we're not growing. We're not really growing, right? And the people that are growing tend to leave our communities and behind because they realize I can do as much work as I can in my communities, and they still won't get it. I'm a teacher in an elementary school, and I'm hoping to grab these young minds before they get the messaging of everybody else telling them how to behave. And the thing is, for some of them, they already behaving this way. And I have to try to reprogram that, try to instill values and teach them, you are a young man. You're not a thug. You're not, at least not yet. You have no reason to go out there and act like a thug because your parents provide everything for you. It's not like you have to go out there and steal to survive. You don't yet. You don't yet. I don't know, man. I am frustrated. Yo, he was only 28 years old. 28 years old. 28 was a good year for me. No, it was a struggling year for me. I ain't gonna front. Like 28 was a tough year. But 28 for me was 14 years ago. 14 years ago. He was 28 years old. He's 4 years older than my oldest son. Dead. Over what, a dice game? And he wasn't even involved? But it's not the music, right? It's not the music. The influence of the music, the violence that's in the music, the normalization of it. No, it's not the music's fault. Not at all. Can't be. It's the individual's fault. We can play all kinds of violence, but no, it's not. When was the last time you heard of jazz musicians playing dice and getting into a shootout because they lost? I'll wait. Leave a comment down below. Leave a comment in the chat. Leave a comment down below. When was the last time you heard jazz musicians playing dice, right, and getting into a shootout because they lost? Let me know in the chat. I'm reading the chat. Let me know. Probably doesn't happen, right? Am I the only one frustrated here? Like, if I open up the lines, like, would you guys ever even want to talk about this? Is it, or are we doing like a spinning record, a broken record? It's going to keep playing, keep skipping, and keep repeating itself. Can it actually be changed? Can it actually be changed? I think one factor that would help bring change, and I'm gonna say it because y'all know what space this is already on YouTube. All right, Jesus is definitely a factor that can bring change, but even that's not cool, right? That's not cool. Religion? Nah, that's not cool. Go get the strap. Religion? Nah. Peace? Nah. Let me go get the strap. You know what's gonna solve this issue? If we all get together and smoke weed. That's gonna solve the problem, right? It's done great for us so far. Nobody want to have an honest conversation because everybody has a biased aspect here. Even me, maybe I'm biased because I'm a teacher and I don't want my babies dying at 28. Maybe I'm biased, but I'm also observant and I see the effects music actually has on people and on young people. We act like addicts that refuse to believe we're addicts. And the reason why we cannot be healed is because we refuse to acknowledge that we're addicts. The reason why our communities can't be healed is because we refuse to acknowledge that music plays a factor in the degradation of our communities. We don't want to accept the fact. So we ignore it. We put blame elsewhere. And we continue to allow the poison to affect our communities. We continue to allow the poison to affect families continuing to be broken, babies being born into broken families, our sons behaving extremely violent, our daughters, the girls today, the girls looking up to their favorite artists, throwing shoes and all that stuff at each other. The girls got my voice cracking and everything. I'm upset. But we don't want to talk about how music plays a factor in this because we got to protect the artists. Nobody want to talk about it. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Give me 1 second, guys. Leave a comment also down below if you're watching this, the replay, because I could be wrong here. You guys can have a difference of opinion. I dropped the link if you guys want to join the conversation. You don't even got to show your face. But what is the answer here? What is the answer? Another rapper has passed away. Another rapper dead. What's going to happen is a mural is going to go up in his honor. Okay? A mural is going to go up. People are going to be posting their pictures on their social media platforms. Okay? Then what? Then what? He's going to be added to a mural with Biggie, Tupac, and other rappers that have passed away. He's going to be added to the mural. But then what? But then what? Another 3-6 months, it happens again and again and again. Until what? Another rapper comes up, right? With desiring to have street cred, right? And be in a situation where, you know, he's minding his own business and then somebody comes in and offs him. Nobody want to talk about the truth. What other genre? What other cultural group? Now, what other cultural group, right, has music that is the most popular form that causes this much havoc in their communities? What? Give me a culture, or even a subculture, right? Where because here's the thing, you can have a subculture and there's multiple genres of music that they listen to, but for us, right, we have two major ones. So give me a culture that has a music genre that is extremely violent and anti-family, and let me know how that community is. Let me see if there's another culture out there. I'll wait. Is there another culture where the most popular forms of music that they listen to is anti-family, pro-sex, and pro-violence and degradation to women and all that? Let me know, because I'm trying to. It's not adding up. People don't want to blame the music or admit that it's a one of the reasons why we are the way we are today. Our communities are, but I don't understand. I'm just thinking. I don't see any other communities like that. And then if there is, they go back to their music. So I don't know. You guys help me out. Man. Because, and we also got to understand that we're living in a time today that our babies are being raised in single parent homes that's forcing their single parent to work 2 jobs, which is leaving our babies to be latchkey kids. We have 2 after-school programs in the school that I teach at, both of them full to capacity because their parents are working. And if we didn't have these after-school programs, you know what they would be? In the street, probably getting into nonsense. So we have these after-school programs for free to help support the parents. The parents are out there doing everything they could. Even some of them are trying to shelter them from the music. But here's the thing. We as parents can even shelter our kids from what they're learning in school. We can't. We try our hardest to protect our kids. We try our hardest to teach them how to think. But let's be honest, the most influential parts of a young person's life is the music they listen to and the friends they keep. And the friends they keep are influenced by the music they listen to. Come on. And I mentioned this earlier too. I'm glad you brought that up. I talked about how it could be considered systemic. But let's look at it. In the 80s, when we had more conscious rap, record labels wasn't picking up on that, right? They were killing our freedom fighters for speaking positivity to our people that will help elevate us, right? They were killing them. Today, people who are trying to be freedom fighters, those of us who are trying to push positivity, are not getting the views. People aren't listening to us right? Because we're trying to elevate a community. They don't have to kill us off because they know our people aren't going to listen to us anyway. They also know that if they promote the negativity, they won't listen to the positivity. They're going to listen to the negativity and they're going to kill themselves off. So they don't even got to lift a finger to do anything about silencing us. They just put money into the things that's going to degrade our communities. But we don't want to talk about that, do we? We want to keep taking our blue pill, dance to this toxic music in the clubs, pretend like our babies aren't listening to it and being affected by it. Imagine this. You who are adults would hear a song and it moves you in such a way that it causes you to dance or even behave like what the song is saying, right? Y'all thought it was finished. Out of it about. I seen it. I seen it. I see it. If you guys, being adults, are moved by the music you listen to, imagine what our young minds that are moldable, imagine what the music is doing to them. But it's the parents' fault. They need to be monitoring what their kids are listening to. When you was a child, were your parents monitoring everything you were listening to? And when they tried, what did you do? You found other ways to listen to it. And today, they got this toxic music everywhere on YouTube, on TikTok, on Spotify, on iTunes. And you know who's not going to censor that? All those platforms. You want to know why? Because they're getting money from it. But none of y'all want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to say the music is a factor. When was the last time Jay-Z did a gangster album, talking about killing? And don't say what's that? American Gangster. Because that was one of the only albums I really can talk about that it was straight storytelling. It was a soundtrack to a movie. So we could talk about that, but it'll be falling it'll be sort of like a mute argument. Ice Cube isn't putting out gangster music anymore. Probably because he's old. But he realized it's not beneficial. Not to our community. Who is out there, right? That is actually doing any good in our communities, real good for the vast majority of people, right? Talking to presidents, trying to get together an economic package that would help benefit the 13% of Americans that are of African descent. They're doing that and still making music that talks about that kind of stuff. Let me know who. I'll wait. Snoop Dogg is a football coach for Little League football teams, right? He's still not doing that nonsense. Give me somebody. Come on, please tell me. Tell me who's out there doing any good for our people and still doing this kind of music. Please tell me. Eventually, they all wake up. Eventually, they all realize, I've been poisoning the youth. Eventually, they start seeing I made millions, and the people that were buying my music are still on the street corner or dead. But y'all don't want to talk about this. We're the only people that don't want to be accountable for our actions. We're going to put the blame on everybody else. It's a white man's fault. No. We need to start taking control of what we listen to and what we promote in our communities. We. But we don't want to talk about that, do we? We want to just blame everybody else. Bro, I'm not even, Paris, listen, in today's day, we cannot talk about, our Jewish brethren, okay? No, not today. Because I can say something positive about them and I'll risk being canceled. Don't do it. Not on my channel. Not going to happen. But listen, man, we gotta do something for real. We have to do something. And I think starting with our music, the messaging, it would help. We have this has been 20 shout out for the super sticker, a super chat. I really appreciate it, sis. Thank you so much, Kira. We have had 4 decades, going on 4 decades of this. 4 decades of this. And it's not going to be an easy fix because it's going to take probably another 4 decades to fix this. But the work has got to start somewhere. It's got to start with someone. It's got to start with a group of people. Since the 80s, our music have been a source of downfall for our communities, and we don't want to admit it. This is not like a judge. And the thing is, I'm a Christian, and I didn't say one thing about my faith in this argument. And I can go deep into music and how it connects to faith and how it connects to ungodliness. But I won't even do that. I could, but I won't do that. Let's stick to what it's doing to our communities, our Black communities across the nation. And not only that, here's a proof of its effect. It has started to negatively affect countries and communities in different countries around the world. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't. We celebrate these artists, right? We celebrate these artists who promote negativity in our communities, with our young people, right? We don't want to hold them accountable for what they do. Andrea, my sister, what's going on?
Hey, Harrison Block family, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sis. I'm doing all right. I'm not gonna lie. Like this has got me a little concerned.
Me too.
Tell me what you think.
Okay, I got some problems in it, and I'm gonna name. I got 4 of them. I'm gonna name.
Go ahead, sis.
So he has money, he has fame. So why he shooting dice? I'm trying to figure that out. That's number 1.
That's one.
Number 2, he's at a private party. He has 40 witnesses that haven't even came forward. So our community is not even want to tell on our own.
That's another thing.
That's another thing.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. And so it's a mother out there got to bury her son. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to figure out it's witnesses who know what happened and ain't nobody came forward. It's a problem for me in our community. Mm-hmm. And I having a conversation with my son today, who's 23 years old, and he was like, "Mom, that's that Black ghetto mentality. Mm-hmm. We can have millions of dollars and get ourselves out the hood, but we still got ghetto mentality, ghetto mentality mindset." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so what was the point of working so hard to get out the hood and get money in them, and you still doing hood mentality stuff?
And that's a problem with, and I think for them to be as popular as they are, they got to maintain that kind of lifestyle so that they can continue getting the money that they want. It is sad. It's sad. I worked at a community center. I was a coordinator for a community center, Andrea. Mm-hmm. And it was in the New York City projects. There was a gym and a rec center inside the projects, in the middle of the projects, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I ran it. I ran the night center. And they all knew, if you guys did anything in front of me, I will tell if I'm questioned about it. Yes. If a cop comes to me, if I'm called and they say, "Did you witness this?" I'm not going to lie for you. They all knew it. They all knew it. Yes. Right? And they respected me enough to do whatever dirt that they were going to do outside of the community center. Right? I'm not trying to snitch, but understand this. All right. This whole no snitching or snitches get stitches mentality that we have adopted in our communities keeps our community broken too. Because what we won't do, right, is call a task and hold accountable those people in our communities that's tearing it up. So we don't want to say nothing.
Yes.
We don't want to say nothing, right?
Yes.
And it's sad.
Yes. But I will say is I do think it's the music. It is the music. I do think it is some music. Even when my parents tried to keep me from listening to music that they thought it was inappropriate for me, when they went to work, I was watching
You
B.
found a way.
Yeah, I was thinking watching their videos when they was sleeping. I was watching the videos. So it's hard to control the environment. I do control my environment when it comes to my kids. I don't allow them to listen to music that I thought is inappropriate. But at the same time, is when they're in school, how can I can't control it because sometimes they could be on their computer in school listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so I mean, and I'm listening to, and I tell my kids now, it's back in the day, you didn't have to always listen to the lyrics, but this music today, you gotta listen to the lyrics and listen to
Yeah.
the lyrics, what the lyrics say, because the lyrics are saying something that the kids don't even understand what they're saying sometimes.
Yeah, but you also got to realize, right? Like back in the 80s and the 90s, people were talking about their life.
Yes.
Today, they're talking about what they're doing. It's not
Yes.
like they're telling a story about the life that they've come from. Today, these rappers are talking about what they're doing now and what they're going to do.
Yes.
It's different today.
Yeah.
What's going on, Jermaine? Brothers
Hey,
in the
what
chat.
up, cuz? How you doing?
Doing well, bro.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, cool. Now, I'd like to piggyback on what you said. Not only are they rapping about what they're doing, some of them are just rapping about what they would like to do.
Yes. No.
Like it's not even a real life. Like they live vicariously through someone else. And so, I did a quick live on it earlier today because I knew today was your day, man. I already know what time it is. So I had to get it in, get it out. I did a quick little live, man.
Yeah.
But to the answer to one of your questions you asked earlier, like, will they get better? This is one of the saddest things I can see. I've seen in a while. I don't think it'll ever get better. I think that being that God has already said that He'll have a remnant, I believe it'll get better somewhat, but by and large, I don't think it'll ever be what it once was because I don't think that the nucleus of the family, especially within our community, will be restored because there's too much dissension between man and female. Too much dissension. Right now, there's just too much dissension. I don't think it'll ever be restored. And I know we can easily say, fatherlessness, which easily plays a part in this. But that's why we don't have community because we don't have family. But the answer that I pointed to, in my live earlier was we have to go back to the God that we left.
Yeah.
God didn't leave us. We left God. Yeah. We got to a point to where we got too educated. We thought we didn't need God because we got our education, we got our money, we got our positions, we got our car, we got our house. And we don't need God. We need God for what? What do we need God for? And so I just think, we started turning to a lot of different religions, and we know that those religions didn't carry us through. Yeah. They didn't carry us through. What got us through was relying on the God of the Bible. Regardless of what people think, regardless of what you think, we were propagated to by white folk and all this other stuff. No, that's not even true. That's a lie too. That's only true partially. But if we don't return to the God of the Bible, we have no hope. No hope outside of Christ. Unfortunately, I don't see us turning to Him by and large. Some of us may be forced to, but a lot of us will not. Yeah. So, that's my take on it. It's really sad, because we have a culture that pushes this type of music, and we hide it under the guise of art and say it's just art. Well, I don't know when art became so damnable and destructible. Like, I can look at a painting, and a painting not cause any harm to me, but this music that we push in our culture, and we don't really have a culture. I said that in my live. We don't really have a culture, but you know, what we call our culture is now pop culture. It's really pop culture. It's not our culture.
Yeah.
Back 40 years ago, we had a culture. We don't have culture anymore. But anyways, we push this stuff in our lyrics, so much so in our music to where when Biden goes to look for a leader within our community, he don't go to Vody Bakum.
No.
Regardless of what you think about Vody Bakum.
He's going to Lil Wayne.
Yeah. He don't go to TD Jakes. He go get, you know what he goes get? He goes and gets Cardi B. So if you want to talk about a community that has a matriarchy, look no further than the black community. They says, listen, the best of you, the best of your leaders is Cardi B.
Yeah.
Just think about that a minute. She's supposed to be representing us, and that's the best we can do. So yeah, man, those are some of my little thoughts on it, man. You know, you'll hear more of it in my life.
And I think that's a very valid point.
That's yes.
Yeah, Andre, like let's just be objectively, not objective, regardless of how you feel about the artist, right?
I'm agreeing with you about Cardi B. Go get her. It's other people in our community that he could have went and got, and he had to go get her. I have a problem with that too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All people. Why'd you get her? Like, you could have went. And let's keep it real. She's not an FBO. Now, I don't have anything against, but she's not FBO. Like, you know, I'm talking about African American, like from the slaves of this country.
Also, remember, in this situation, she's very close to the situation because she's married to one of the members of the Migos. So
there you go. There you go. So you pick somebody to represent us who is African, she is black, but she's not FBA. You know, Trinidadian and Dominican. But that's not the same, even though that's black, that's not the same as getting me from Oklahoma and Tyrone from Willacoochee, Georgia. That's not the same.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, just keep it a stack. That's not the same. So out of all people, that's who we picked. He couldn't have picked nobody else.
Yep.
Vody Bakum, regardless of what you think about TD Jakes, you couldn't have picked him. I mean, so, you know, but I think they know what they're doing. I think they know what they're doing, and that's why we got to be careful with this election time coming up. Because you picked the worst. I'm not going to say she's the worst of us, but you picked the most worst candidate to represent us you could to say, hey, listen, this is what they about. And that's not what we're all about. We're not all about that.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of that narrative just getting, pushed on us. So anyways, but that's my little spill on it.
Yeah, appreciate your input, man, because this is it's hard. You're absolutely right. Like it's insane. Andrea, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off earlier. My apologies.
Do I think it's gonna change? I think we as the black community have become immune to a black man dying every day. It's just another black man dying every day. It's immune. We have become immune to it. It's like we're numb at it. We're numb at it. I'm being honest. To hear you have all these rappers have died. It's another black man have died every day. It's not that big a deal no more. Because if it was a bigger deal in the black community, this would be a 911. It's an emergency in our community, but we don't see it as an emergency. We just see it. It's just what it is.
Can I share something? And this is going to hurt some people. We have become just as desensitized to our own dying, as our own dying getting killed, as the groups of white people watching a black man being hung and lynched in the town square.
Yeah.
Desensitized.
Yes.
Contextually, we're just as desensitized. We can look at pictures of Takeoff throughout the internet in his own blood and be like, dang, and then keep it moving. I remember the first time I really saw an image on social media of somebody dying. It was Trayvon Martin. And I looked at that image and I bawled my eyes out, Bawled my eyes out.
Me too.
Like I'm getting emotional just thinking about the picture now. Like he was laying there, mouth open, his knee was still up, lifeless. And that's being shared over social media.
Yeah.
And too much, we become desensitized to the point where
Yeah.
it's normal now.
Yeah.
Right. And the town square is now our social media feeds. And we're looking at it thinking, oh man, another one. Just like those really mean people from back in the day watching a black man being hung from a tree.
Yep.
Not thinking nothing of it.
Yeah, we just go on like we go on like the next day. We go on like it ain't nothing. But a mother is left behind, a father is left behind, a sister, a father is left behind kids that he's not gonna be here to raise his children. And we always want black men to be in their kids' life, but they're dying before they can help raise their children.
Yeah.
Dre.
But the thing is, when people talk about this, right? When people talk about this, nobody want to talk actually, like, be objective about conversations like this. They really don't. Go ahead, Jermaine. I'm sorry.
Dre, 13. I got 13 family members and 2 friends. So that's total. That's a total of 13. 11 family members, 2 friends that I saw that were killed by gun violence.
Yeah, man.
So that's 13 funerals I attended, and that was before I graduated high school. So I had to learn to, like Andrea said, I had to get used to it. I had to get used to it just to make it through, just to focus on my schoolwork, just to focus on football practice. I had to get used to it, because if not, I would have just became paralyzed. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't become desensitized. I still care about the image bearers of God. I still care about life. I still care about life in the womb. I still care about life outside the womb. I still believe that life is valuable. And that's what those 13 homicides taught me. Life is precious.
Absolutely.
Life is precious. We need to take it as a gift, because at any moment it could be taken away from us. At any moment.
100% agree.
So that's one of the things we need to take. Don't get desensitized to it. Let this be a lesson. Value your life. I'm pretty sure Takeoff thought he had years to spend on this earth.
28
Today
years
that man is no longer with us. What are we gonna do? Hashtag Takeoff. Wear a t-shirt for 2 weeks until they get start getting rusted out, and then all of a sudden that's all we're gonna do. That's all.
They're gonna draw a mural.
Yeah, how about
it?
Yeah, draw a mural. So remember him. But are we gonna ever talk about the music that we keep pushing out? Look at his own lyrics. Come on, look at the lyrics they had. But we got to do better. But until we start pointing the finger at us, we can't worry about nobody else fixing us but us. Until we start being honest, having real conversations, say, you know what? We're very hypocritical in this area. We could do better in this area. Until we learn to do those things, it's always going to be a problem. And that's why I don't have any hope for it getting better, because we won't do that.
Yeah.
We hate to say, you know what? I'm going to take accountability for these actions. Instead of blaming it on every other member group, blaming it on ourselves, we'll always have this victim mentality, like, oh, nobody can help us, or it'll never get any better. Can somebody save us? Stop relying on everybody else to help us. Why don't we just do better with the gift that we have called today?
Yes.
So, that's my little spiel on it, man. I got to get in here, man. Like I said, I did my live earlier. I really do appreciate you doing this live, brother.
Man, bro. And I'm going to check out yours too. If you guys can go to that Christian Fam channel and check out his live stream also.
Yeah, man. Much love, brother.
All right, brother.
Andrea, God bless you.
Thank you. You have a nice day too.
Yeah, y'all take it easy. I'm going to be in the chat.
All right, bro.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
it's sad today. Today I just got back from vacation last night, visiting my family in North Carolina, and to see gun violence can take people. I think I think us as a people don't value each other's life. Because if we did, will we stop and think about we're fighting over a little dice game? Will we stop and think about that father, that man might have some kids, a wife, a mother, a father? We don't value each other's life. We are okay at taking each other's life and don't even get it, don't even care. And we say black on black crime, but we act like it's okay. When we say it's proximity, we act like it's okay. When we say we know crime is happening in the hood, but ain't nobody talking about it. You know, crime is happening in the hood, but ain't nobody saying, well, what happened to why them murders ain't been solved? Ain't nobody talking.
That's the thing. Yeah, you've got cold case happening. Yeah. And the reason why it's cold is because we don't want to say nothing.
We don't want to say nothing. And I have two young people. I have two. My daughter is 24 and she just had a baby. My grandson is 3 months old. My son is 23 years old. And I pray and I try to keep them close to me when they go out at night, on the weekends, because I'm just saying, watch out where you're at. Make sure the X is where you're at. Be careful of the company that you keep. Be careful of the friends you got. Because my mom didn't have, I feel like I have more stress on me as worry as a parent than they ever. I feel like I did not let the music influence me. I might have listened to the music and when mama got up in that house and heard we listened to that music, we was gonna get in trouble. But I did not let the music influence me to do wrong. I might have listened to it, but I knew some of that music was bad. But I knew I had a foundation of my mom and dad, what kind that music was getting you 3 places: the prison, the graveyard, or you're gonna be in somebody's you're gonna be in trouble. And so I just feel
you're gonna be somebody's t-shirt.
Yeah. And so as parents, we have to I'm having conversations with my young adult children. I worry about them. I told them that. I said, I feel like I'm getting old because I'm worried. I'm praying for y'all every day to make sure y'all make it home. And it's like, it's a lot. And I don't think my mom and dad had to worry so much about me or my sisters and my brothers, because we just didn't have time to get in no trouble, because after school we had to go work with daddy. After school, my daddy laid carpet, so we had to go work with him. So we didn't have time to get in no trouble. We was going to work with him after school. We didn't have time to be on the corner. We didn't have time to do that because we was at church. We didn't have, and I believe that is one of the problems in the Black community. We don't got away from going to the church house, because they always say a family that stays gonna praise together. And go ahead.
Well, like you mentioned something earlier, I wanted to make sure I touched on this about you caring for your kids and stuff. Like earlier today, right? I go to pick up my son from school, and down the block from my son's school is Broad Street, right? Excuse me, a tough street, right? And he's on the corner by a corner store, right? And he looked like he was perched up there, right? Like that was his post. He's waiting for me to pick him up. He usually doesn't stand there. He waits by the school. Okay. But I drive past the store to go to the school, and he looked like he was posted there. You know what I mean, right? Like, yes, I know, the young dudes in the hood. They placed there by the And I said, son, don't you ever stand there waiting for me again.
Thank you.
Like, why, Dad? I said, you look like you was posted there. So what do you mean? Like you're there in order to do a sale. Like that's what you look like. You standing there, you look like you're posted there. And I told him, don't do that. Right? He said, well, no, I wasn't posted there. I was just, waiting, talking to a friend. I said, I understand that.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
I'm letting you know what it looks like, though.
Yes.
Like you're in this bubble coat, you have crutches and all, but you're in your bubble coat with a book bag on, just standing there. Right? Look like you're waiting for something.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's going to think you're waiting for something.
Yes. Yes.
All right? Don't do that, son. Don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, so I pray for my kids too, and I try to school them on what to do and what not to do, where to be, who to be with, Yep. But here's the thing, even with the music, right?
Yeah.
I know my son's friends will influence them far greater at this point in his life than I could.
Yes.
I'm not going to stop, but I'm not going to be naive into thinking that he's not going to try to do what his friends are saying to do.
Yes.
Just like I would hope that I'm his greatest influence, but I understand that the music he listens to who influence him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell him not to listen to something. I can put all the necessary blocks that I could as far
Yes.
as my power was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
He'll still have access to those things one way or the other.
Yes.
You know, like it's one of those hard things that we have to face as a parent. People blame parents for the musical influence, the music that has that the music that influenced our kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a matter of access.
Yes.
And we got to stop pretending like it's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's accessible.
And I at the same time as this how I feel as an artist. Don't you got a responsibility to you're preaching to the masses and the masses of the young people. And if your music is poison, you poison your community.
But here's the thing, right?
Don't you have a responsibility?
Yeah, but here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're making money off of it.
Yes.
You remember when a couple of years ago, Lil Wayne was being interviewed about the situations happening in Black America, and he said that don't bother me.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
I'm rich. I'm a rich NIGGA.
Yes.
You know,
yes, he sure did.
I'm rich. Like I don't think about those things, right?
Yeah.
These are the people that we're funding their lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and they can care less about us.
Yes. But we're down in the hood, dying and down in the hood, trying to be like them, and they're getting rich off of us.
But nobody want to believe that they're living in the Matrix, eating that blue pill.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's the real red pill, blue pill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
And I guess I'm at a point, all I can do, I could talk to my children. I can till I'm blue in the face. But I know one thing about being a parent and my mom and being a parent. I was always fighting for the right to be grown. And my children sometimes fight for the right to be grown too. And sometimes I gotta back off and just guide and have a little conversation and not control.
Yeah.
Because my parents try to control and I was fighting their control. And so I figured out I have to guide instead of trying to be controlling. And I told my father this. I just told my father this a couple weeks ago. My father turned 76. I said, Daddy,
congratulations.
You're fighting for the right to be grown, and you were trying to control me. And you should not. What you should have been doing is trying to guide your children and be their friend, because you don't live this life. You ain't got it. The mistakes that you made, you can help us make us better people.
Yeah.
But you trying to control with an iron fist and trying to control us, we're gonna rebel against you. Yeah. And I told him that. And so I don't try to control my kids. I just want to guide them and help them along the way.
Raising up the child in the way they should go.
Yeah.
So when they grow up, the goal is for them not to depart from it.
Yeah. Amen. Well, thank you for having this conversation. I appreciate it.
I appreciate always having a discussion with you, sis.
Okay. You take care.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, man, I'm going to end it now, though. But I want to thank everybody for being in the chat, and shout out to D-Lo Supreme, the newest member of the Harrison Extended family. He subscribed during the live stream. Greatly appreciate your addition to the conversation as well. We just got to really have an honest discussion with actionable steps to take to help improve the situation. Rest in peace to Takeoff. I pray the Holy Spirit will comfort the family at this time of mourning and grief. And I also pray that there will be somebody that will stand up and share the gospel with the family and friends, because Lord knows, we all know that's what's needed right now in our society today. We are truly lost, and we have become content in our lost and fallen state. A dice game ended with the life of a 28-year-old man. A rapper who raps about taking the lives of others and selling the drugs and doing the drugs. And people say if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Something I always tell my sons: if you talk like you hard, Somebody's going to test how hard you are. I don't really have much to say anymore. But I do thank you guys for watching and being part of the live stream. And those who have watched the replay, I appreciate you guys too. This is a time that we need to really pray for that family and pray for our communities and do something to bring actionable change. Greatly appreciate you all. Love you all. Like if you like want to the video, subscribe if you would like to. But this video is not for that. All right, guys. Until the next uploaded live stream. I love you all. I'm out.